Good morning and welcome to Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion with me, Pastor Amanda. We are looking at chapter 32 of Exodus today, and I tell you, it's kind of an exciting, weird chapter going on here. And so, what we find out, for the last week or two, we've been talking about God giving Moses instructions on the top of the mountain about how to build this tabernacle. Well, he's been up there for 40 days doing this. And the people just start to go, what's happened to this guy Moses? We don't know what happened to him. And so the people go to Aaron. So Aaron's kind of like second in command. And they say, build for us a god so we have something to worship. And so Aaron tells everybody, take off your gold and everything that you have, bring them to me. And we are told that Aaron then makes a mold, casts it with gold, and he offers it to the people to have to worship a golden calf. Now, the commentators through the years are not really exactly sure exactly about this golden calf. Was it the calf itself that they were worshiping? Was the calf like a symbol, like a throne in which gods descended down and sat on the calf? There's different ways of thinking about that. But anyways, they were worshiping this calf, whether it was the calf itself or the gods that descended to sit on it. We just might not know. But with that, we find that God becomes aware of this, and God gets angry and frustrated and tells Moses that he's got to go down there and he's got to that he's going to consume the people with fire and anger, and it's so funny here because then Moses says, hold on, God. You need to change your mind for a moment. You need to stop being so angry. You need to remember your promises and just kind of calm down. Calm down. And it actually works. Moses is able to bring back the reminder of the promises that God has made, and that it's okay. He's going to take care of this. So we find that now Moses is carrying his two tablets that God has written with the own finger of God, and he comes down the mountain, and he himself then gets just as angry as God. He just told God not to be angry about this, and now he's crazy angry about it. He's so angry that he throws the tablets down and breaks them. Oh my goodness, it's like a drama going on here. And so he breaks the tablets, and with that, he goes up to Aaron and he's like, dude, what are you doing? You, why did you do all this? And in good fashion, Aaron, first of all, he goes, well, the people are the ones who turn to evil. This had nothing to do with me. It's them that are the bad guys. And I don't know what happened. This calf just came out of the fire. What was I supposed to do? Now, if you remember, to just like a few minutes ago, I just said it says in here that he told them to bring them gold. He formed it into a mold. He cast an image of a calf and it came out. But now all of a sudden he's just like, I don't know how. A calf just came out. I don't know how it happened. So he's really kind of triangulating and trying to get out of this. And then we have, after that, we have this kind of, it's just how do we handle it? I don't know fully. But what Moses does is he says, who's on the side of Yahweh? Come to me. And he doesn't say my side, he says Yahweh. And so what happens is it's the Levites. It says that the Levites come to be with Moses. Now, this kind of makes sense because the Levites are the ones who are going to be in charge of the tabernacle. So they're kind of the priests. It's been their role from the very beginning to focus worship on God. And so then Moses says, now we're going to have to do a cleansing, which means people are going to have to be killed. And it says about 3,000 people were killed in order to bring order back into place. And so we have that. It was an atonement. But then God goes back, or then Moses, realizing what he has done, has to go back up the mountain, and kind of confess to God. The people went wild. I broke the tablet. Yeah, we've got to, sorry about that. And God's kind of calmed down a little bit, but it says that um one day there will be punishment. At some point in time, there will be punishment for their sins. And by the very end of this chapter, it actually says, then the Lord sent a plague on the people because they had made the calf, the one that Aaron made. So God's not fooled by Aaron's little conversation about, I don't know how it happened. And so we have this kind of interesting drama playing out. We have Moses calming God down and then Moses getting upset over the same thing. Have you ever experienced that? Where you're just trying to help somebody deal with something and then it happens to you and then you lose it. And so we need to be aware of, are we practicing what we're preaching, so to speak, and everything. And, I love about this is that it says, in order to calm God down, Moses said, remember the past, remember what we've been through, remember your promises. And it goes to show how easily we can get swept away by current circumstances. But, it's kind of, and it's also like when you think about that person who makes one mistake, but they've done so many other good things in their life. And so we've got to remember the good in order to help us reconcile, forgive, um, an occasional sin, not repetitive sin, but that mistake that happens, that we all lose our temper at one point in time, as long as it's not our normal, so to speak. And so we see this, that it's important to remember because our past is the collection of who we are versus just one thing counting for who we are completely. And so we see Moses using that technique even with God. We also see unhealthy communication happening here. Triangulation, pitting Aaron and the Israelites and Moses and Yahweh, all kind of pitting each other against each other. But the truth does come out kind of in the end. And so we see that happening here. And so this is kind of just one of those chapters that reminds us that we do have a tendency to turn back to our old ways. We need securities. And, the Israelites, they're lost in the wilderness and they're not seeing their security. And so they fall back to old ways, harmful ways. And so, how can we recognize that in these times of wilderness, sometimes when we can't see for ourselves our Creator, we can't see Jesus right in the moment, try to not fall back to our old ways, but trust that God's leading us somewhere, that Jesus is with us in our journey. And so I encourage you during this Lenten season to pay attention to where is it that you're falling back to old habits and where do you need to say, okay, got to get back on track. Pay attention to what's going on here because God's promises are faithful and everlasting, and they're here for you too. And so you just got to trust that God is there and present. And so I offer you these words of hope from our daily devotion today. So thanks for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow as we dive into chapter 33.